Warning: the following podcast contains adult language and childish comedy. Listener discretion is advised. And now, please adjust your headphone volume to an unreasonable level and enjoy the most dynamic and electrifyingly entertaining podcast ever to conquer cyberspace. This is
Amish Baby Machine.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the most powerful podcast ever created, the Amish Baby Machine Pop Culture Podcast starring me, Dags. Today we have a powerful episode, and as always, we have a powerful guest host, and that guest host is the Resonator, Mike Rez.
Good. Hello. Good. Whatever time of the day you guys are listening to this. Hello, Flock. Hello, Dags. How are you holding up?
It's all good. As always, it's all good in the hood.
Nice. That's always the best part.
God, I'm excited. We have a powerful show today. Just we had a couple unfortunate deaths, though.
Yeah, it's kind of like last minute deaths that we're going to try to cram in here.
Yeah, normally we want the deaths to hold off until we have proper notes for them.
Normally.
Brian Dennehy and Howard Finkel. Now,
yes.
Brian Dennehy, we all know him as the only person to kill Rambo in any of the Rambo movies. That's right, isn't it?
That's correct, yes.
Why do nerds get so mad when you do ironic comedy like that?
Because they're nerds.
Yeah, I always put
they've got to be right.
I put it up on Twitter. I always do my powerful ironic comedy. And if you want to enjoy that comedy, please follow us on Twitter at Amish B Machine. But I always tweet something and then they're like, oh, actually, Brian Dennehy did not kill him.
Do you ever reply with like a hook, line, and sinker or a fishing pole or anything?
Oh, yeah. Well, one time on Facebook, I did I don't know, it was one of my powerful jokes. And someone said, oh, what do you mean? And they said I asked it was about the Boy Scouts. I go, you know how the Girl Scouts sell their bullshit cookies, you know?
Right.
And they mark them up and they keep making them smaller and smaller. But that's their scam, you know, you got to get the Girl Scout cookies. So I said, how come the Boy Scouts don't sell something like pipe tobacco or something? And then he's like, well, actually they sell popcorn. And I go, I know, it's a joke. And then I did a meme of Christopher Reeve's Superman, and the joke is flying over his head and he doesn't see it.
Right, that's one of my favorite memes.
Yeah, and then that set him off even more. It's like, I got it, it's just not funny.
One of my favorite things you do is when you get the Star Wars and the Star Trekkers going.
Oh my God.
So that's especially like the Star Wars nerds, those guys. And I love Star Wars, but I don't consider myself a nerd like that.
They always talk about toxic fandom. I love that. Toxic. Like behind their powerful phones and keyboards, they're powerful.
Right.
I don't.
I have no idea.
Yeah, the Trekkers, and if you call them Trekkies, they get mad. And you know, I had a theory about what do you think about? There's a lot of nerds now, and they have and they have no natural predators. Remember back in the day, they had Biff and Buzz. They would kick the shit out of them, throw them in the locker and stuff.
Yeah, so, what are you looking at, butthead?
Now bullying is outlawed. So there's an unnatural rise of nerds. Do you think that will equalize out, or?
I think at some point it will. You know, it's like Mother Nature has a way of equalizing itself. There's got to be a way that bullies and nerds can equalize themselves out.
I got an idea: trapping us all in our homes.
Oh, that's a good one. It's working.
Yes. How are you holding up? How are you holding up in your bunker?
I'm okay. So I've had a little as lack of judgment before we went into like severe lockdown. I suggested that if people donated to Second Harvest Food Shelf, and I put the number at $500, and I would shave my beard. And well, guess what, Dags? This week we hit $500. So guess what's going to have to come off?
You're going to shave your beard?
I'm gonna shave the beard. It'll grow back, so it's not like I'm gonna wax it and have to wait 3 months. But
Are you going to manscape also?
I think you have to, don't you? At this point,
You have to.
that's another like nerd thing you got to do now. Is you got to manscape.
Yes. Speaking of being trapped at home, do you ever have people that call you all the time just to, they're just calling you to kill time?
Not yet. I haven't reached that phase with my friends.
All right. So I have this this guy I know. It rhymes with Johnny Rage. But anyway, he's calling me. He's on the exercise bike. He weighs about 5 bills, but he's trying to work out. And he's like heavy breathing, calling me. What are you doing, man? And I have to entertain him while he's riding his bike.
Is it a Peloton?
Oh my God, Peloton. It's more like a. Remember remember the ones in the 70s Schwinn made them? They were like this big turbine blade, and you would row and it would just turn this giant fan.
Right. We used to have one that had a belt. You'd have to tighten the belt to get the resistance on the front wheel. It was weird.
Yeah, I don't know what kind Johnny Rage is using. Let's just say he didn't pay full price. But he's calling me. He's just like breathing like that. I'm just waiting for the flat line. Boop.
Or the thump.
Yeah, the flat line and the thump. We have a powerful episode today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for enjoying us. I know you're not watching, but you're watching your phone. You're listening. Powerful episode today. We have 2 powerful movies we're going to review. Also, the Resonator has a hot beer he enjoyed. A hot, cold beer.
It's a new segment we're debuting.
Yes, powerful
exciting.
new segment. What do you call this segment?
I think I decided on good beer versus shit beer.
Whoa. Good beer versus shit beer.
Yeah, and that's really kind of like it's really just me reviewing either a good one or a bad one. So, and I think the flock will be excited to know what I've got in store today.
Yes. So on Netflix, we picked a couple. I had the Resonator Mike Rez pick a powerful. I think next episode, I will pick the movies just to mix it up a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah, but I'll try not to. My problem is I've seen every movie, so I don't know. Maybe I'll have a virtual dartboard or something.
There you go.
So going back to nerds and bullies, who's your favorite bully from cinema?
Well, I think it's gotta be Biff would be number 1, and then I think number 2 would be what was his name from the Goonies? The jock, the one that held on to Mike's hand to try to knock off all the training wheels on his bike and sent him off the cliff.
Powerful Goonies.
Yeah, right.
That's that movie. Does that movie still hold up? Have you watched it recently?
I think I watched it within the last 5 years because I got my kids to watch it, so they enjoyed it. It's kind of like a multi-generational film. Holds up with the younger kids.
Yeah. What is a movie that you saw recently that you liked back in the day that really didn't hold up?
Geez, it's a good question. The Avengers comes to mind. I remember watching the first Avengers movie when like the full cast. That was horrible.
Really?
Yeah, the flock goes back to watch that. Everyone, you'll know what I mean. But yeah, the original Avengers does not hold up.
My problem is I always compare it to the comic books, and when they screw stuff up, I talk about nerd rage.
Sure, yeah, I could see that.
And I still Spider-Man. I want a good Spider-Man movie. I'm still upset about the Green Goblin, how they did him in that movie. They had Willem Dafoe, which is a powerful choice as Norman Osborn. He looks like the dude. He can do the crazy. But then they put him in this, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers suit instead of the Green Goblin suit. He's supposed to be like a court jester, So that,
right.
To this day, I'm still upset, and I want him to do like a cool retro 60s look with those colors, the cool Technicolors back then of, a proper Green Goblin or a proper Spider-Man.
Yeah, and I did like a proper Green Goblin. He's mostly green, but isn't there like some purple or something involved?
There is. Purple and green. It's another powerful power combination of the Incredible Hulk. He always had purple jeans on. Purple jeans. Purple jeans.
Ooh.
Why did he have purple jeans on?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just looked cool.
Didn't really matter what he wore. He would always get the purple jeans.
Yes. Purple jeans.
As Dr. Banner.
Yes. Dr. Bruce Banner. On the TV show, they had to call him David because they were afraid that sounded gay, Bruce.
Oh.
That's a true story. Powerful, true story from the most powerful podcast ever created, the Amish Baby Machine Pop Culture Podcast. So, Resonator Mike Rez, let's get into your beer review because we are approaching summer. And if we ever get released from our prisons, we're going to want to enjoy a refreshing cold beer while sitting on the deck or enjoying a fire in the bonfire. Tell us, what beer did you enjoy?
Okay, well, I think we should talk about that. I do enjoy a craft beer, and I can enjoy the big conglomerate corporate beers as well. But craft beers is where I go to, and Sam Adams is considered a craft brewery.
Is it still?
And yes, it still is. So, and I should probably tell the flock what makes a craft brewery a craft brewery. So if it's produces less than 6 million barrels of beer a year, and less than 25% of the craft brewery is owned or controlled by a beverage alcohol industry member that is not itself a craft brewer. So that just means that there can't be any corporate influence greater than 25% in ownership stake. So Sam Adams does fall under that category. I tried something that they make called a mountain berry, which a lot of times I will just look at a label, and depending on how cool the label looks, I might buy that beer.
You're mesmerized by the artwork.
I can be, yes.
How about the whimsical names? Do you enjoy the whimsical names or the artwork better?
Well, here's a good example of both. So I once spent $6 on a bottle of beer because the bottle was painted to look like a Red Wing pottery. And the name of the beer was called Delirium Tremens. And I was like, sure, why not? I'll pay that much for that bottle. And it actually turned out to be pretty good. So that was a cherry beer, which looked more like a cherry soda once you poured it out. But the taste was good, and it did the job. It had a high alcohol volume. But this Mountain Berry, I thought was going to be more of a blueberry beer because I just looked at the label. I didn't read the label. If I would have read the label, I would have known it was more like blackberry and raspberry. And it was super tart and super sweet, and it sucked, Dags. This beer sucked.
Way to go technical on us.
Yeah, well, I don't want to, talk about nerds. We could go beer nerd if you want and talk about the fruits and the notes, but I don't think anyone cares. And I don't really care because it sucked big time. And I like Sam Adams beer.
What kind of beer is it? Is that considered one of those sours, or what is it?
It's considered a fruit beer. So it's not a sour, but it's definitely, like a Leinenkugel's Berry Weiss, that would be a fruit beer. That Delirium Tremens that I tried, that would be a fruit beer. And at least, like the Leinenkugel's, the Berry Weiss, that actually tastes pretty good. It's not too overpowering. This was way overpowering. It was like drinking like a cranberry juice that got you drunk, that also had the hint of hops that taste like beer. So,
do you ever do the flights of beer?
I do. Yes. There's some, that's actually probably when you go to a brewery that you've never really tried before, that's the best way to find out what you like.
So the reason I ask is how many ounces typically is in a container for a flight?
Anywhere from 4 to 6 ounces. So that'll get you a good.
Because what I'm wondering about is it's like samples when you go to the grocery store and they give you a little sample.
Right.
Well, that's not real because you eat this little sample and you get a taste, but if you eat a lot of it, sometimes it's not as good as that little sample. So does that happen to you with craft beers where you have a little flight, someone gives you a little shot of it and you're like, oh, this is pretty good. But then you drink a huge massive growler of it and you're like, oh, this sucks.
That has not happened to me yet. Luckily, with the flights, it's more than just one little chug or shot. You gotta, takes a few sips to get it down. So, but no, I haven't had a situation where I tried it, thought it was good, then bought a bigger, either a pint or a growler or a crowler for that matter.
Whoa!
And thought that I'd made a mistake. Though there are some beers that I've tried in a flight and thought, all right, I'm probably not going to finish this. I'll just give it away to somebody. So,
what is your go-to beer?
Craft wise or like big corporate wise?
We got lots of time. We got all the time in the world. God bless you, people that listen to the most powerful podcast ever created. What is that name?
Well, if I'm just like in a hurry and just want to grab something, it's a Coors Light because I know I like that because I'll go to that. If I have some time and can actually like sit and stare and try to figure it out, which I've been known to take 10 to 15 minutes.
Well, that's cool because you can go from Coors to a fancy craft beer. I appreciate that. There's a lot of guys get all hung up in their beer snobs.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of beer snobs out there. I try not to be that guy, but sometimes I can be that guy. There's a lot of good craft breweries. The Twin Cities where we are, and some members of the flock are, there's a lot of good breweries around here. But the best ones I found were out in Oregon when we took a trip out there a few years back. There was in the small town we were in was called Hood River. There was 5 craft breweries and 3 distilleries. So
do you get into the booze also, the whiskeys?
No, not the craft distilleries. I haven't been able to do that. I do like a gin and tonic, but I'll stick with the Bombay Sapphires for that.
Supersonic.
Yeah.
Powerful rap song from the 80s.
It's a good one. People need to look that one up.
Do you remember it? You're not just humoring me, are you?
No, it's a Supersonic.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
The S is for super and the U is for unique. The P is for perfection. And you know that we are freaks. The E is for exotic and the R is for rap. So tell all those nosy mothers just to stay the hell back. Supersonic. Powerful.
Oh, man. God. We should do like an 80s music review.
Yes.
Not today, but at some point.
No, it's powerful.
I think people don't know that JJ Fad was actually a group that existed.
You actually knew the name JJ Fad. That is powerful. You're gonna get a virtual salute right now.
Nice.
I just saluted you.
Thank you, sir.
And speaking of saluting, what beverage are you drinking right now, Rez?
I had a Cameroon's coffee breakfast blend earlier.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I'm on night shift. So when I wake up, my morning coffee comes in the afternoon.
Powerful Commodore's night shift.
Ooh, I like that one.
Yes.
It was about some singers that had passed away.
Yes. Powerful song.
Yeah.
So
Marvin Gaye, Jackie Wilson.
Yes. So powerful listeners, flock of Amish, please hold up your glass to your beverage of choice. Mike Rez, hold up your virtual beverage.
Absolutely.
Cheers. I salute everyone that listens to this powerful episode.
Cheers.
So back to the name of your Sam Adams beer. What was it called?
The name of it is called Mountain Berry.
Mountain Berry.
Yeah. If people want to try it just for the curiosity, sure, find a sample pack. You'll only have to choke down 3. But yeah, it's not the best. I like if someone were to ask me which one my favorite one of Samuel Adams is currently, it would have to be their Cold Snap, which is one of their seasonal beers that you can get right now. But yeah, it's stay away from the Mountain Berry. So I guess in our first beer review, we did a shit beer. So,
excellent.
Yeah. So next week, I've already got one lined up for next week that I'm excited to do.
Powerful.
But if the flock has any suggestions, I'm open to suggestions.
Yeah, the best way to suggest a suggestion. Wow, that's a lot of suggesting. Hit us up on Twitter at Amish Bean. Please follow us on Twitter at Amish Bean Machine. I'm on there 24/7 talking to my friends. Also, don't forget we are on YouTube. We're going to need you to subscribe on YouTube. Powerful Podcast goes up there. Also follow us on Instagram, like our Facebook page, and wherever you enjoy podcasts, we are there. We are on Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, Apple Podcast, literally everywhere. But what I'm going to need you to do is leave a review. 5-star review is the best. And if you leave that will unlock secrets of the universe. And please share us wherever you are, if you're on the Twitters, please follow us and share our content. That helps us get the word out. And it's powerful. And we love you for it. We enjoyed a couple movies. What movie do you want to get into first?
Let's do the not so serious one, the one with probably some of the bigger stars that people would know. And they both have some big names, but let's do the older one first, the one from 1986.
All right, start us off. 1986.
1986, we have The Money Pit. And The Money Pit stars Tom Hanks. It also has Shelley Long, Alexander is it Godunov? Is that how you pronounce his last name?
That's good enough. How's that good enough?
Yeah, I like that.
Yes.
And people would recognize him because apparently whatever happened at the end of this movie drove him to join a terrorist organization in 1988.
Whoa, don't
brother.
Forget that.
Yeah.
That's real life.
Yep. Joe Mantegna's in this one.
Powerful Italian American.
Yeah, and we also have there's another big name here that people would know, and can't find it all of a sudden, but here it is, Maureen Stapleton, I should say. She's probably a lot of the grandmas and grandpas out there in the flock would know a lot of her. Her acting career started in the 1950s. So, but The Money Pit for the youngsters out there is a story about a couple that are dating. That would be Tom Hanks and Shelley Long. He is an attorney and she is a classical musician. And they buy a house after getting kicked out of their apartment that they were subletting from Shelley Long's ex-husband. So that's kind of a weird triangle they had going there.
Now, who does he remind you of? He reminds me of
who's that?
The ex-husband.
Oh, yeah, like the dude from Ghostbusters.
Yes,
too?
Vigo from Ghostbusters. Very good.
Right, yeah. The painting.
Yeah. Why can't you be that sexy, Mike Rez? God, that guy was sexy, wasn't he?
It would melt the microphones.
Yes, he was powerful, sexy Euro trash man. He was wonderful.
That's right. He was probably into look like steampunk at the time.
Oh, love Steve Punk. Did I say Steve Punk? That'd be a cool name.
I think you said Steve Punk. Yeah.
If you're into steampunk, your name should be Steve Punk.
Yeah. So it was quite the. That's another story we should probably review at some point. But anyway, back to The Money Pit.
Wait. Your powerful tangent. What movie?
Ghostbusters 2.
Never heard of it. I'll write it down. Ghostbusters.
Yep.
Also, got it.
Also, yep. Came after the cartoon came out. I think the story picks up after that. Sometime between Ghostbusters and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That time frame.
Yes, I love Bobby Brown's song on there, On Our Own.
Yeah.
Powerful.
You know it.
Oh, you do know it.
Yeah.
You're on fuego with the music references. I enjoy that.
Yep, JJ Fad. You know it. It's early in the day.
So I'm going to interrupt you again because that's what I do. I'm the powerful host.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to pick song of the day since we're on the movie tip, the soundtrack movie tip kind of thing. Just a tip.
You want me to do that right now?
I want you to do it now because I'll.
Oh, jeez.
Yes. Song of the day.
Song of the day. Well, if we're just going to do song of the day and you're going to put me on the spot, we're just going to go with Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Powerful theme song. I'm going to add one too, all right?
Okay.
Because I'm feeling crazy. I'm all hyped up on Dasani. Athena by The Who.
Ooh, good one.
God, that's a great song, isn't it?
It is.
So powerful. Let me write that down too. Athena. And then. Oh my God. That was funny too. Did a powerful yacht rock. Lido.
Yeah.
Yes.
We should have the flock vote on which one of our songs is the best one.
That's fine. On Twitter, at Amish Bee Machine, let me do a powerful poll. Athena versus Danger Zone. I mean, Danger Zone's going to win because everyone loves Kenny Loggins because he looks like Jesus.
Not back then in the 80s, he didn't.
What did he look like? Jesus?
He had like the short Zool haircut.
Zool.
Yeah, it's another Ghostbusters reference.
Powerful references, powerful retro 80s today. We did a powerful 80s movie, and then we're going to go into the 2000s here pretty soon. So back to the money pit.
Yeah, so this couple buys a house from the owner named Estelle, who is Maureen Stapleton. And she kind of, pulls a fast one on them. She shows them the house in dark, lit by candles, so they can't really see the cosmetic things that are wrong with it. Gives them a little sob story because she's a little bit of a con artist. And they end up buying the house dirt cheap, which she probably made a lot of money on. And before you know it, man, do the woes start for this couple that bought the house. So lots of issues, electrical issues, plumbing issues with the foundation, issues with a dumbwaiter.
Whoa.
Issues. Yeah.
So pretty much like any house in Minnesota.
Pretty much, yeah. But I don't know. Has your house ever spit out mud or gunk out of the plumbing?
It has.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go.
Powerful House of the Rising Sun.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
In New Orleans?
New Orleans.
Nice.
That's how you say it, New Orleans. Powerful money pit. Yep. So do you have powerful notes in front of you? What was the name of the movie that this was a remake of? I believe it was like in the late 40s.
Yeah, it was a remake of Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House, starring Cary Grant.
Oh, I love Cary Grant.
Yeah, there's actually they were thinking about making a TV show out of this movie, and that never happened. But I remember seeing this one as a kid in the movie theater, and it brings back fond memories of childhood's past, I guess.
Yeah, it had a feel of an old time movie, kind of the slapstick comedy and all the different cast of characters.
Right. And I mean, Tom Hanks in the 80s, this was like his transition from Tom Hanks' Bachelor Party to Tom Hanks' Forrest Gump. This was kind of his transition into those two parts of his career.
What are your feelings on this movie? Did you enjoy Tom Hanks? Was he funny in this movie?
I think so. I've seen, this probably wasn't his best one, but it I still got another chuckle out of it. Not the same as I would if I would have watched it 15 years ago. So, but I think it did all right. What did you think?
I think the funniest scene was when the little cherub baby in the fountain peed on him.
Oh, that was pretty good. Yeah. Although the fireplace falling, that was a funny scene too. It just kept going and going and going. So yeah, I like that one.
It did. You could totally see like Laurel and Hardy in this show.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, Tom Hanks. It definitely wasn't one of his best. So out of the powerful 5 buggy wheels, where are you at on this powerful film?
I'm going to give it a 3.
Yes.
It's entertaining. And, you want something, like we've said in the last couple of movie reviews, you got some time on your hands and are running out of things to watch. Look up The Money Pit.
I enjoyed the sleazy real estate agent that sold him the house.
Right. Yeah.
That guy was funny.
Yeah. It's a good, good thing to watch if you, like you said, if you got something to do, want to watch a movie and just see the heck you think you've been missing, which you probably haven't after you watch it. But
what are your thoughts on Shelley Long?
She's funny. She was a lot funnier in her early career, like at the Cheers days. These days, she had some guest appearances on Modern Family as the mom, the estranged wife of Jay on that show, and she wasn't that funny. But yeah, she had a funny career in the 80s and early 90s for sure.
Did she seem to you in this movie too old for Tom Hanks?
Yes, she did. There was definitely a weird weird character matching. But I think that was part of her character, though, being a classical musician. And he was still kind of that off the wall attorney. So probably didn't take life too seriously, but
I guess maybe I didn't pay enough attention. So she was supposed to be like the older, mature woman.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I think so. At least that's the way she played the character. That's what I've always gotten out of it.
But it seems like every movie she's in, every TV show, thinks she's smarter than she is, kind of vibe.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. She always comes off as a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
What was that powerful movie with Henry Winkler and Michael Keaton? Night Shift, was it? She was in that one?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I have to look that one up.
That's got to be one of her first movies. I don't know. It's got to be, but powerful. So I'm going to powerfully rate this film.
Yep.
And once again, in agreement with the Resonator, 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5 buggy wheels.
All right. So there you go.
Powerful. We're going Back to the Future, 2019. The Angel Has Fallen.
Or Angle, depending on how your phone wants to auto-correct it. Well, I mean, what can we say? I mean, this is the third installment of what would you call it? The Has Fallen universe? Cinematic universe?
The Fallings, yes. Not to be confused with Falling Down. God, was that a good movie. Did you enjoy that movie with Michael Douglas falling down?
I did, yeah. What was it, the rocket launcher scene? That was pretty sweet.
Powerful.
So I think I'm gonna watch that one again if I can find it. That's a good
movie.
one.
Yeah. The ending was whatever, but now back to the Falling series where Olympus Has Fallen. What's the first one?
Olympus Has Fallen was the first one.
Okay.
And then London Has Fallen was the second one. And this one is Angel Has Fallen. The first thing that stuck out in my mind was, what is this president doing to get in so much trouble? Every other year, it seems like he's part of some kind of terrorist attack.
Speaking of terrorist attack, go back to the Money Pit. What were you telling us about the actors that became terrorists?
Oh, yeah. So Max, the ex-husband in that, he's the one of the terrorists in the Christmas movie that we always talk about, Die Hard.
Yes.
So he's the blonde with the long hair.
Yes.
His brother gets killed, and then all he wants to do is rip Bruce Willis's head off because of that. Yeah. So whatever happened at the end of the Money Pit really drove him insane.
It did.
Yeah. But yeah, so this one, Angel Has Fallen, follows the misdoings or it wants you to believe the misdoings of a Secret Service agent named Mike Banning, who is played by Gerard Butler. A quick question for you. If this movie, this is a little trivia for you based on my answers. If this movie was made 5 years ago, who plays the Secret Service agent?
5 years ago?
Yeah, well, let's say this whole series starts 5 years earlier than they started filming them. So let's say Olympus Has Fallen, which was released in 2013. If it was released 5 years earlier than that, who's the main Secret Service agent?
Marky Mark?
No, it would have been
Matt Damon?
Russell Crowe. I'm assuming.
Yes, good, very good.
And then if it was made 5 years before that, who would be the Secret Service agent?
Oh, I got to think of some sort of Australian type dude. Oh, Mel Gibson.
Correct. Yes, those are the actors I had in mind.
That's brilliant. You're really today. You're hyper focused.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you know what though? That just means the next time I'm on, it's going to be like one of the worst experiences of your life.
No, I disagree. It's powerful. You're hyper focused. You're bringing up JJ Fad. You're Russell Crowe. Then you went to powerful Mel. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson actually got mad at Russell Crowe and said he stole his act. You know how he pops his eyes out?
Oh, sure.
Does it eye pop?
Right.
Oh.
Yeah, I could see that. But yeah, this movie actually has some big names to it, but they're like older names of some of the actors. But anyway, so let's go back to the plot so people know what the heck is happening here. The president has there's an assassination attempt on the president, and Secret Service agent Mike Banning, played by Gerard Butler, has to put his life on the line to try to save the president. And then there's he ends up saving him, but then what happens at the hospital turns his life around, and the FBI gets involved, and there's some dark money in the dark web, and there's some deception and friends turning on each other. It's quite the ride that happens.
What are your thoughts on drones? This movie features drones.
I think they're cool. If you can get some good aerial shots for like filmmakers, the way they used them in this movie, I don't know. It seemed a little far fetched, but it's Hollywood, so who knows?
Yeah, I'm kind of ODing on drones. I didn't like the drones.
There's a lot of them. Holy cow!
There was.
Yeah, I don't know how you can afford so many explosive drones.
Yes, powerful.
I don't care.
Powerfully CGI'd explosive drones. That'd be a cool name for a band, wouldn't it? And
explosive drones.
The explosive drones. But you couldn't see them in concert because we're trapped like rats in our bunkers. You have to see them.
Yeah, they'd have to live stream on Facebook.
Yes. Are you ODing on the live streaming?
Not really.
Good.
Because I don't. You got to pick and choose. You can't watch every live stream. That will drive you crazy.
But I'm just I'm inundated, and I got to see all these people playing ukuleles, doing shitty covers.
Yeah, there's some people now. There was one ukulele cover that I did recently watch. It was a cover of the Joe Exotic song, I Saw a Tiger. And that was a ukulele cover. Was that the one you saw, or did you see a different ukulele cover?
Well, a lot of times when you see the video and the audio doesn't play automatically,
sure.
Thank God.
Right.
So I typically don't click on the ukulele ones.
Well, I think you're missing out on ukulele in your life.
I do enjoy the big giant, God rest his soul, Polynesian man that played somewhere over the rainbow.
Israel Kalakalakamunga.
Yes, easy for you to say.
Right. I looked up the story behind that a few years back because there was some short 2-minute podcast that talked about that. But so that guy decided he wanted to record that song at 2 a.m. and just decided he was going to call and leave a voicemail at a local record place that recording studio. And there was somebody there and actually answered, and he talked the guy into let him come in and record it. And so he was like half tired. Everybody was like half asleep when they recorded it. And then if you listen to the words in that song, half of them are wrong. So
really, the words are wrong.
Yeah, they're wrong. They're in the wrong spots. He kind of just went off the cuff, but it was close enough that nobody really noticed right away.
Well, his oohs were good. He does a lot of good oohs.
Yes, he does. So look that up. That's a good one. I actually bought it after I heard that little short 2-minute story on it. So
is it an actual whole song? Because every time I see the video, they kind of mix it in with other stuff.
No, I don't think the song is that long itself.
Yeah, I don't think it is either. Yeah,
or his version of it, I
Yes.
think it's like 2 minutes, if not less.
Yeah, that makes sense. And because it seems like every video I see of it, it's some powerful montage, collage, if you will, of different songs kind of all thrown together.
Right, and he's no longer with us, Dex.
No,
Did
I
you
know.
that?
I said God rest his soul, didn't I?
You might have. I'm not
Yes,
listening.
I know you're not
So,
listening. Back to,
I'm so into this movie.
I know you are. Back to Angel Has Fallen.
So then the rest of the movie, you're trying to figure. I think you kind of know who's the good guy and who's the bad guy halfway through it, but you still kind of watch it anyway. Because I don't know about you, but so I was watching the movie. The dialogue's a little quiet. I had to turn up the TV volume, but then the explosions in this movie made me have to turn down the volume because it's really powerful, high def sound explosions. Like it was made with THX in mind. Like it would have been really cool to see in the movie theater.
Did you do you have like a sound bar or a sound system, or do you just play it through the TV speakers?
I actually listened to it. So I watched it on my phone at work. We have a stereo system that has these cool surround high def speakers that I can plug into, and that was the sound on that. It shook the counter I had my stuff on. So I knew right then, I was like, that would have been really cool in the theater.
The final shootouts were pretty cool, didn't you think? The battles.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That brought me back to the Heat shootout, the sound effects.
Oh yeah, Heat's got to be one of my favorite, if not the favorite shootout ever.
Yeah. So, but the scene in the middle where he meets his dad. Do we want to tell people who his dad is, or do we want them to find out?
No, we don't want to spoil it for him.
Okay. Yeah, but that casting was awesome. The guy who played his dad. So I wasn't expecting that. But
no, that was it was son of a bitch. No, right. I'll do it so poorly that people won't know.
Right.
Who I'm trying to impersonate.
Yeah, I just think I won't tell people who it is, but I'll just let people know that person they gave the character to probably didn't have any lines. They were just like, just be yourself.
just wing it.
Right. just go off of what Gerard Butler's doing. You'll be fine.
No, Gerard Butler has powerful cheeks, doesn't he?
He does. Yes.
His face is very unique.
It's kind of like a weird square circle.
Yeah, and it's like it's made out of putty or something. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's like he's like a Dick Tracy villain.
Yeah. What do you think of his accent?
How it comes and goes, or what?
Yeah, kind of like it's weird. Like I know he was trying to have an American accent in this one, but he always goes back and forth. It's been that way since 300. It's almost like he's struggling to figure out which accent he wants to play all of his characters in.
Yeah, but he's cool. It's weird that this is #1 on Netflix.
Yeah, I know, right?
Do you think it's because we're all scared and they all have us trapped and we're looking towards a hero, a powerful alpha male to save us all?
Probably. Could be the fact that it's the newest action movie on Netflix currently too.
But it's just powerful, and people want that. They want a powerful alpha male.
Yeah.
That's why they listen to this podcast, the most powerful podcast ever created, starring me and the other alpha male, Mike Rez.
That's right. Morgan Freeman is playing the president. What are your thoughts on Morgan Freeman right now, just as an actor? It seems like he's no longer the cool actor he used to be, like in Glory and Seven and Kiss the Girls. He seems to be like a caricature of himself.
Yeah, he's getting old. We're all getting old.
Yeah.
So
maybe I'm just more sad to see it than anything.
Yeah, I'll cut him a little slack.
Although he does go from, in those movies that I mentioned, he's like the dad you don't want to disappoint. He's now the grandfather you don't want to disappoint.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Gerard Butler, the first movie I remember him in was Dracula 2000. Did you see that?
I don't think I saw Dracula 2000. No, I saw the one with Keanu Reeves.
Oh, that was powerful, that Dracula wasn't it?
One. Yeah, with Gary Oldman and
I love Gary Oldman.
Ryder. That's that. Speaking of movies that don't stand up, that one didn't really stand up the second time I saw it.
Whoa, that might be blasphemous. I'm gonna have to enjoy it, and I'll let you know.
All right, let me know. You get back to me on that one. I just remember the first time I like hyped it up, and then I watched it a second time, and I was like, okay.
You know why I liked it though? Because it gave an origin to Dracula.
Sure.
I thought that was cool. They fleshed that out. No pun intended. It seems like now, they're afraid to talk about, the Christianity aspect of it. They kind of make vampires generic now.
Right.
I kind of like how they pulled in the Crusades and, crosses and all that kind of stuff. I like the classic vampire. I don't like when they turn it into, Twilight, where it's, non-threatening. I like the classic story. And that's why I like that it gave an origin to Dracula.
Right. And speaking about stuff that sucks, the Twilight movies.
Powerful. Thank God I never sat through any of them.
I think I've sat through a total of 10 minutes. And that was because I walked through the room when they were on.
That reminds me once where a young lady tried to get me to watch The Notebook.
Oh, God.
And I literally made it through maybe 5 minutes and I started laughing. It wasn't a good scene.
And you and I had this conversation. We talked about movies that we would review, and I think we both decided rom-coms and that kind of crap is just not going to work at all.
No, there's some. I mean, if it's got someone that's, maybe trying to think, what's a good rom-com? If it's some leading dude that's kind of funny, then, I probably saw it, especially in the 80s. In the 80s,
Sure.
I literally watched every movie, good or bad. And now you reach a point where, you start filtering it.
Yeah. Would you consider Adam Sandler's movies rom-coms?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And I only like his older movies.
Right.
His newer ones, yeah.
The Happy Gilmores and the Wedding Singers.
Exactly.
Yep.
Those to me, that's an Adam Sandler movie. I know they want to stretch and everything, comedians, they want to, like Tom Hanks, obviously that's perfect example, in the 80s. And then he branched out.
I hear you.
Did you see him on Saturday Night Live?
Adam Sandler? I did.
No, I'm sorry, Tom Hanks.
Oh, Tom Hanks. This past weekend,
Yes.
This was the worst Saturday Night Live ever in the history of Saturday Night Live.
Tell us how. Tell the fans of Flock of Amish.
Everything was done remotely and everything was pre-recorded. And I thought so Tom Hanks did his like special guest appearance as the host, which was completely scripted and unfunny, and just I guess I don't really understand why they picked him other than just to say, hey, look, I'm still alive and I made it. And then everything else was just like cliche skits that they wanted to do that they thought was funny, and none of the actors and the people on could be wearing makeup, or it just seemed like it was so thrown together. It was horrible. So,
do you think Tom Hanks could go back to comedies and be effective?
I think so. Yeah, he's versatile, so I think he could do it. So I did see A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, and I know he's playing Mr. Rogers, but he kind of plays sometimes, or he's kind of creepy Mr. Rogers. So
I didn't see it. Does he kind of go over the top with it, or what?
I think a little bit, but then again, maybe Mr. Rogers was really like that. I mean, I don't know, because it looks at his personal life outside of the show too. But even though it's not really about Mr. Rogers, but I think maybe he did overact a little bit in that one. But that's the first time I would ever say that about Tom Hanks. So that goes to show you what kind of career he's had. But yeah, people need to see it, I think, and they'll understand what I'm talking about.
Do you think was he doing an impersonation of Mr. Rogers, or just doing Mr. Rogers?
That's a good question. I would say more of an impersonation. So, and sometimes those can get a little over the top.
What was your favorite episode of any Mr. Rogers TV shows? Do you remember any?
I remember bits and pieces. Like, I think, how he used to do like the picture show movies with
yes,
Mr. McFeely. So there was one where they made, so there was two of them. One where they showed how they made crayons, and one how they made latex balloons. And those two stick out. Yeah. So, and then
I think I remember Margaret Hamilton, the Wicked Witch, when she was on.
Nice.
Oh, I love her. Powerful.
We'll be breaking down Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood episodes on the next Amish Baby Machine.
Yeah, that's what this is. It's just powerful stream of consciousness, retro, and today too, or 2019, when Angel Has Fallen came out. Now, did we give a score yet on that yet? We haven't, have we?
No, not yet. I think because I'm starved for any action movie, and this kind of hit the spot when I watched it, I'm going to give it 4 buggy wheels, but then that's going to make me change last week's review of Nighthawks to 4 buggy wheels. Then that's going to actually raise that one up, because Nighthawks, I think, is actually probably a little bit better, but Angel Has Fallen hit the spot for me.
Yeah, we got some good feedback on Nighthawks. People love that movie.
Right.
And I think people, it's just a weird one that people, even, people nowadays that are into Stallone, I don't think they saw it. It just doesn't, you don't hear a lot about it.
No, and that was the first time I ever even heard about it when I was searching for movies for us to review. So, but I thought Stallone and Billy D, can't go wrong.
No, it's a great movie, and in fact, that's one I wish I would have saw in the movie theater.
Sure.
You know, you hear everything better, like you were talking about sound. You like when you watch TV, you're not usually in a total dark room, so you get that immersion. You get the immersion of the sound, and it's so much better in a movie theater.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, and now what do you think? They're charging $20 now for new movies.
Yeah, and I even heard so AMC, you know, they're losing so much money with the shutdown that their credit rating has dropped. So if they even make it out of here, you know, it could be $55 for a small popcorn.
Wow.
You know,
yeah, because they get all their money from the concession stand.
Right. Yeah, and that's, you know, you pay just as much getting in as you do at the concession stand for snacks and crap.
And what's the seating going to be like?
Yeah, I don't know. I know before they got shut down, they were seating every other seat. So I don't know how that's going to work out. If it's going to have to be more than that, or when they will be able to open. I mean, it's just going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. You know, like I said, with that action, that being number one, you know, that action movie. It's gonna, because Hollywood, you know, what's the last action one? Was that what's the one with Jason Statham and The Rock? Calvin and Hobbes or whatever.
Yeah, what's the Fast and the Furious?
Yeah. And those,
yeah.
Did you see that?
No, I haven't seen any Fast and the Furious movies.
Wow,
Not
you haven't
one.
seen any of them.
No, I'm kind of wearing that as a badge of honor now.
Yeah, well, yeah, you reach a point now where you shouldn't see any of them because, yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's kind of like people that have never been to White Castle before. I find that weird, but every once in a while you find out people that have never had a slider.
You know what I call those people?
What?
Idiots.
Wow. So hurtful.
Well, get out there and have a slider.
Powerful episode tonight. Mike Rez, did you have a good time?
I always have a good time. How about you?
Always. I loved talking about the powerful 80s and today. What is it now? 2020? I don't even know. Trapped in our bunkers.
Hey, you should tag JJ Fad if they're on Twitter. Let them know we talked about him.
Yes. I'm going to have to do some research. JJ Fad, Supersonic. Powerful episode tonight. We thank everyone that listens. Please do us a favor. Tell a friend about this powerful podcast. And until next time, you've just enjoyed the Amish Baby Machine Pop Culture Podcast.
Thank you for listening to the Amish Baby Machine Pop Culture Podcast. It is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, and everywhere else fine podcasts are found. Please support our podcast through Patreon and shop our merch at AmishBabyMachine.com. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. This has been an Amish Baby Machine production.